what is exactly Western art? I really want to know. So I have a long time study about Western art and theory base. I fully understood in my brain, but very finally, it took almost like 10 or 15 years later, I realized myself. I do understand what's going on for the thinkers. Meaning of a sabotage is like fighting back, or just negative, or just talking about the other way around to the right things, whatever we can think it about. Yeah, sure. Partially, I have that kind of mean in my artwork and my theory of a sabotage. We understand each other. We know each other. We haven't known for many, many years, more than some 100 years knowing each other, but not certain to believe each other. That's the matter of the episteme, So it means I know you, but I don't really believe you. In that case, but we still very strongly cling together, related together. And we know a lot of things each other. But are you really believing the way of thinking of an Asian? Are you sure? I know American way, because I used to live there for over 25 years and work there, teach there, just study there, everything, live there. Probably I know many things about American culture. I do understand, but I still have a difficulty to believe their lifestyle. That database painting is not made by myself. That is made by my son. I just make a size bigger in professional print. That's it. Yeah. So that's the what I'm talking about. And I'm not talking about digital culture. I'm not talking about technology. Some people has a misunderstanding. Oh, Cody's so strange. He's having a lot of cultural thinkers and so strange kind of things. But what? In 1997, you made a technology? No, I didn't want to talk about technology. I just want to talk about my son and me. Yeah, and that was a big frustration. Also, 1997 is the fin de siècle, the end of the century. Then, yeah, everybody was frustrated. Before choose the material, mainly I start from my own experience. That is the most important. More important than my theory, more important than my studies, and more important than any other things. Maybe I learned that kind of things from Michel Foucault. I like Michel Foucault a lot because his writing is always a basis on his life experience. That's why his writing is very powerful. I think it's much more powerful than other the post-structuralists. My experience, that's living things and study very deep inside as an academic, theoretical ways, digesting analysis and understanding my way and blah blah. And then in a certain period, I'm trying to find out some materials, because that my thinking here, which is invisible. So I try to those kind of invisible thinking into some object, which is materials. It happened in just like one step to the other. It happens sometimes crossover, mixed, and happening together in give and take, and a lot of things. And Michael keep asking me to read and study and think blah blah blah. I totally follow his in teaching direction very sincerely. But in certain period, I had a very regret myself. What is education and what is not education? The artwork with education and artwork without education. What was really difference? On the other side, in the bottom, is I always talking about geopolitical situation. I'm a Korean. I was in United States. I'm in back in Korea, and also in mentally geographical situation conflict here and there. I believe successful artists and good artists is not all the same. No, I don't think so. Very once in a while, good artists could be success, but mostly successful artists is not really equal to good artists for me. I always kind of sabotaging myself. Last 20 years, almost over 20 years, I always have a frustration feeling about that because I wasn't very uncomfortable about that situation myself. It means already beautiful. So I said frustration can be beautiful. Maybe I'm changing in here a little bit right now, recent years, but last 20 years I was always kind of upset myself inside. There's a kind of a cultural theorist in India, is like a name Ashish Nandi, who's an Indian scholar, and he's talking about that kind of two different culture conflict they're fighting together that normally happen at one groups of people, and they love the other cultures, and the other groups is that they hate the other cultures. But he studied very long years about those two groups difference, but finally he finding out those two groups has same idea. Hate and love is the same things, but that's why he said we should thinking about in the middle. How could we play in third game, something in the middle as a third game play and finding out a new vision? That's what he said. Okay, I love to find out some kind of new vision in that situation. I'm in that third situation, but I'm unable to find out vision because I'm in there too deep. I don't know where should I belong into. I just in the middle, then I just like, that scaling myself and feel uncomfortable all the time. That's exactly what I'm talking about, sabotage and, so whatever that my experience, my artwork, but I think is, at the time, I try to, showing that kind of feeling into my work in a way of joking. There's nothing else I can say. I cannot angry. If I studied this, but I understand I don't like it, then I can angry. If I love it, then I can talk about appreciation about that. I can talk about, whatever, good words. But I don't understand this, but I cannot belong here. But I have it here for many, many years, over 20 years in Korea before. But I'm not belong here anymore. I'm in here and scaling myself all the time. So that's why I cannot angry. I cannot say I love that kind of things. I'm just in funny situation. That is a kind of very strange, simple, seems like a simple, but it's not simple situation. We all have it here. It's many things going on cross over there, misunderstanding and self-lying, fraud, and we're believing something to know, but nothing happened. I'm not that simple guy. But I'm trying to show my work as a very simple, funny joke, which is very filtered. When I'm making artwork, I believe the mostly good artwork has happening constantly two way of digesting, understanding way at the same time. One way, the viewer who doesn't really know about an art and theory and philosophy, whatever, they could enjoy the piece in visual interesting. At the same time, the someone who has very deep thinking studies and philosophy based, then they can have more deep insight. It's totally belonging to the person who can see my work. What kind of guy he is most important. Maybe this is also kind of little slightly different than just Roland Barthes. Roland Barthes is like that readers created their own meaning. Yes, right. But I said readers created their philosophy in somehow. Is totally according to how much they can think. Yes. I'm not talking about just the meaning. I'm talking about I want them to have that kind of complex experience like me.